I was recently on a panel discussion at the 2026 Learning and Development Leadership Summit here in Australia. Most organisations are trying to create future performance on a century-old operating system. The problem is not effort. The problem is architecture. We keep asking leaders to deliver speed, agility, and innovation through systems built for control. So the dirty little secret of leadership development, I think, is that we take a bunch of leaders out of their roles, come to a leadership program for X number of days or over a period of months. And then we send those leaders back with different ways of thinking, different beliefs, different mindsets, and hopefully different behaviors and habits and a whole bunch of tools into a system that actually hasn't changed at all. And so the premise is that by creating better leaders, we're going to send them back and they're going to somehow magically change the system. Of course, that happens in some cases, and it's about degrees. So, if we have 20 leaders in a leadership development program and they go back into an organization of 10,000, that's a mighty effort for people to try and change the system. So we prefer to think about a performance architecture. And what we mean by that is the interface between the business drivers, vitality, which is all about health and culture and engagement and values and role modeling behaviors, and finally leadership. And leadership is the intersection between those two. And so if we don't really think about the broader system and how we create really strong scaffolding, and I'm not just talking about let's run some peer groups afterwards, or let's have an accountability buddy. All of those things do make a difference, but I'm talking about the macro environment that we send people back into. And that's the conversation I think we need to have more of. We don't have it enough. And therefore, it's any wonder why many leadership programs fail, and without that kind of broader context. So the impact, of course, is that then strategy is not implemented. And we know from research that 80% of CEOs, from one particular research, global research, was 80% of CEOs are dissatisfied with strategy execution. So we can come up with a really lovely strategy, but it's the execution that really matters. So pressure goes up, ambiguity goes down when we're really super clear. Somehow humanity is expected to make up for poor design. So we need that performance architecture, business drivers, human vitality, and leadership depth to make the big difference. And I really like some of the recent work from McKinsey. They've updated their 7S model, which has been around for a long time, to now a new operating model that has 12 elements, including things like governance, leadership, talent, etc. I've recently used it with a team, and it was an excellent kind of platform to have conversations around and do an assessment on those 12 elements in order to really think about how the strategy was going to be implemented. So I think it's a much better way to go. So the same research showed that even high-performing companies leave around 30% of value unrealized through their operating model shortcomings. So it's really time to think much more systemically in a macro sense. Future-ready leadership starts when we stop asking good people to compensate for bad systems.